Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So as I've mentioned before, I ordered my gardening stuff online and they pack random seeds along the purchase. I love it that way because I never know what I'll be getting, hence the surprise is always fun for my inner gardening nerd. Anyway, coincidentally, I've been craving edamame beans around the same time and voila, I've got a pack of soybean slash edamame beans this time round. Since the last video, I've stated I was attempting a seed to harvest video, hence the longer period in between posts, but nonetheless, let's begin. So far, I find this germination method the easiest. Just place it on a few layers of paper towel, cover it with more layers, and water it with slightly above room temperature water, as I find that mild heat helps with faster germination rate. Seal the plastic container and wrap it in a black plastic bag and leave it next to the windowsill. I usually check it within 2 to 3 days time and water it if the plastic paper towel has gone dry. So it's been 3 days and the seeds have all germinated. I'm going to transfer the strongest looking ones to the potting mix today. Unfortunately, I'm running out of indoor gardening space for my plants, so this is the downside of high-rise living. And I'm only be able to keep 2 of them. Since the bean seed is quite big, it's rather easy to transfer them unlike the other smaller seeds that I've planted. So I can't wait to see how the plants look like. So because the bean pot is quite big and visible, what I did is I only buried the root in the ground into the soil and leave that on top. So because the last time when I buried them both together underneath the ground, then it started to rot. So I find this much easier. So now that I'm done, I've also actually watered the soil beforehand already, so I won't drown it. Then the rest of the beans, I'm just going to keep it aside and hopefully I can find more gardening space to accommodate. It's been 8 days since I've moved into the pot and look at it. The leaves are so round and cute. It grew pretty fast, so you can see the changes daily ever since I planted it to the soil. So it's the 25th of March today, 17 days since the last update, and it has grown double in height. So what I did was I actually taped a yarn string to the window and sort of just help it cling onto it for support. It's not as leafy as I thought it would be in comparison to my long dwarf beans that I've been growing alongside for another video, but it's aesthetically pleasing nonetheless. It's the 4th of April today, total of 35 days. The leaves are turning rolling yellow and I'm not sure if it was because of the fertilizer that I've added a few days ago, so I'm hoping it doesn't burn off. I've read that cutting the stem of the brown leaves might help, so I might try it if the situation doesn't improve. So it's been 16 days since the last update, and I did pluck off all the dead leaves, and my plant is booming back to life thankfully. It's a lot leafier and healthier looking, so perhaps the delayed effect of the fertilizer. I've also transported them both into slightly bigger pots and moved this second one to a proper Rex, since the bottom has less sunlight because it was getting a tad too laggy. So it's the 30th of April today, total of 61 days. I woke up today and to my pleasant surprise, can you see it? I spotted some baby pea pods. Look at it. It's so tiny I almost mistook it for baby leaves. There are about 5 on this one and on the other 1. So far I think that this is one of the fastest to fruit about 2 months in. So I can't wait for the harvest. It's been 11 days since I first spotted the baby pea pods. So look at how much they have grown in size. This plant is doing really well. It's even getting bushier and leafier. These are healthy sized edamame beans, so I am quite tempted to pluck it today. This other plant's growth is slightly stunted in comparison, most likely due to its earlier living conditions, but it's definitely slowly catching up. I'm probably going to wait for a few days for the grand harvest. Okay, I've waited for a week and today is D-Day. It's time to yield the fruit of my labor. So I'm going to gently pluck it first. It's the first one. There. second one. I'm just gonna gently twist it on top. It's the third one. Now working for the fourth. Sorry for the camera angle. So I was doing the balancing act. So I just realized after I was done plucking it that it was a little bit out of angle. Anyway, this is the fifth and sixth. And doing the last one on this plant. Okay, moving on to the next plant. This is the final 8 from the other. And this is mission accomplished. Now it's time to cook it. So I've always wanted to try a seed to harvest then cook a dish video, hence this is my version of a very low production F-grade Lizuki style video. I've just soaked and washed the beans. I've done soaking and washing them, so I just transfer them into the pot and I'm letting the water simmer. This is my estimation of a pinch of salt. My taste buds have a very high tolerance for salty things, so you might want to scale it back a bit. I'm just going to add a little bit of more salt while the water is starting to boil. So I do like my edamame beans salty. So if I'm not mistaken, the edamame beans shouldn't be overboiled, else it might be too soft, so I'm going to take it out soon once the water starts to boil. I'm just stirring it around a little, and I'm going to scoop it up right now. Okay, wasabi and soy sauce is a must for me with edamame beans. So I've actually prepared some beforehand. So now is the moment of truth. I'm just gonna dip it a little bit to the sauce. And delicious. This is the best edamame bean I've ever had my whole life. 2 months worth of waiting just to eat this. Well, it might be an exaggeration in terms of the best edamame bean, but it was definitely worth it. I can't exactly say if this was the most efficient method to satisfy my edamame craving, but it was definitely the most wholesome way. I highly recommend planting this for beginners. But if you plan to do so, please plant more than 2, as it's a far cry from a meal. I mean the total harvest. 8 edamame beans ain't gonna satisfy anything. But it's worth it regardless. So if you enjoyed this video, please click the like and subscribe button for more gardening adventures. And I thank you and see you again soon. Bye!